How's it going, everyone? Pokemon Star Neo here, and today we'll be using a Volcanion CSR team. This got top 8 at a Japanese grassroots tournament. It is hyper offensive, and it also has good old-fashioned Tatsugiri and Dondozo. So, what we have here, let me introduce everyone. We got a Dondozo that is Fairy Terra Unaware with leftovers, Wave Crash, Body Press, Substitute, and Protect. Tatsugiri with the Dragon Terra Commander with the Choice Scarf, Muddy Water, Draco Meteor, Icy Wind, and Surf. Smeargle with the Ghost Terra, Moody with Focus Ash, Spore, Wide Guard, Fake Out, Follow Me. Calyrex, Shadow Rider with the Ghost Terra, As One with the Choice Specs, Astral Barrage, Psychic, Pollen Puff, Shadow Ball. Volcanion with the Fairy Terra, Water Absorb, Assault Vest, Heat Wave, Steam Eruption, Earth Power, Terra Blast, and last but certainly not least, we got the Dragonite with the normal Terra, Multi-Scale, Choice Band, Extreme Speed, Rock Slide, Low Kick, and Iron Head. So yeah, like I said, this wants to go fast. There are some fun little combos you can do as well. Like the reason why you have Surf on here is that Volcanion has Water Absorb, and so it's able to get more of that. You can use that as well as, like, I believe Surf isn't as inaccurate as Muddy Water. Obviously, Muddy Water has the advantage of lowering accuracy. If it hits, it adds that to it. But yeah. So one thing about this video that I'm gonna do. So my audio did not record for anything. So I'm gonna have to do voiceover and stuff like that. So bear with me. It's something new I'm doing for the channel. But yeah, anyway, enough chit chat. Let's go straight to the battles. Alright, so for the remainder of the video, my voice will not match what I am saying. So, I'm looking to this team and I'm like, what are my best Pokemon to bring in here? And also, you always wonder if you want to bring in Dozogiri into this matchup. If you're a Dozogiri team, that's the first question you ask. So, I see their team. I feel Dozogiri will be good. Because I can body press a lot of stuff, or Wave Crash. It is a Sun team, so not my favorite thing to go up against, but I want to bring in Dozo, and then I believe if I bring in Shadow Rider, that will give me a big advantage going in as well. It is not Focus Sash, which sometimes is a bit nerve-wracking, but, you know, because it is a frail Mon, but I decided to go with it. Giri and Volcanion in the back. And let's see how this works for me. They have some scary Mons on there. Alright. Alright, and as we're about to begin, here comes in their Pokemon, and it's Ogerpon and Chiampao, and then my Dozo and my CSR. I am a little nervous because Chiampao can do so much damage into my quad, you know, like, it does quad damage into my Calyrex, so I'm not too thrilled about that. So I'm going to have to Fairy Terra here, also because Ogerpon can use Wood Hammer or Horn Leech in there. And yeah, I'm just like coming to terms with there's not really anything I can do here because all it takes is one Sucker Punch. And I feel at this point, if I'm gonna do anything, I might as well power up the Tatsugiri. I'm gonna go for a Wave Crash just in case it decides to, or no, I go into Body Press. For them, I think it's too early to go into Terra. Also, like, if they were going to go into anything, I would think Stellar if they're going to Terra that slot, because if I'm Focus Sash, you're just Dunzo. Alright, so Commander goes off, going to raise all of our stats one at a time, just letting my opponent be afraid of everything that Tatsugiri does for Dondozo. And then we're going to get off our Terastallization into the Fairy type. Here we go. Wub. Bam. Okay, my timing was off there, but here we go. She looking fine. Boom. Alright. So, Sucker Punch will go into the slot that is... There's no Pokemon. And that is a huge Horn Leech. It does half because of that crit. So, good call on the Terastallization there. Otherwise, that would have knocked us out. But yeah. So we take out their Chi-Pow. Thankfully, it's not focus sashed. And then we get some well-deserved leftovers recovery. So I'm probably going to see, just so it can do more offensive pressure with Ivy Cudgel, it goes out into Calyrex. Also, I feel like they wouldn't be too comfortable bringing in what I believe to be their Calyrex in the back. So I'm going to protect, get some lefties recovery, and we get that off. And it also kind of lets us see what kind of moves that Calyrex has. It uses Scale Shot, which I'm not sure why, because I would not be effective. Wouldn't really do anything for you. Now, if Ogerpon was faster and for whatever reason you knocked out Dozo, then I can see you do that into Tatsugiri and that puts you ahead, but not how the turns are going to go here. You're going to have to take down Dondozo first. So I want to get off some damage because I know they're going to do a lot, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to make that same mistake twice. And so I decided to body press. Alright, they're going to get Flare Blitz off in the sun. That does nearly half. They'll take Recoil, but not too much. And then Ivy Cudgel will come in, and it brings us super, super low. So we body press. We do about half. Bring it down to like right below half. And then we gotta protect, so that way we get more lefties recovery. Hopefully it can live 2 attacks. Not likely. Basically, we're just trying to see if the luck will be on our side. We're also trying to burn out the sun, because once that's gone, they have to swap out, or, you know, like, their moves are going to be not as strong without the sun. So stalling is our best option, which is why after leftovers recovery, you're going to see me go for protect again, because it's like, well, both of the Pokemon is faster than me. So if I get another protect off Cool Beans, if not, I'm no better off than what I was. So Collision Course, which I think they definitely should have went to Flare Blitz. Maybe they were worried about more recoil, because that is not enough damage. Ivy Cudgel will go in, and it will take down my Dozo. But, you know, it's done its work. Took down one big Pokemon, and then brought the Calyrex very, very low. And then I'm thinking, who should I go into? I want to bring Volcanion, mostly because it's the shiny new toy, but I go for Calyrex because that's smarter. Also, hides my 4th Pokemon in the back. Alright, so this is a weird thing about the speed interaction here. So my Calyrex is actually faster than my Choice Scarf Tatsugiri. And why that makes me nervous, you'll see a little bit later. Because I'm going to go into Icy Winds, because if whatever's in the back is faster than me, I need that protection. So we take out both with the Astral Barrage, and yeah, good on us. We're going to get twice the boost, which is nice. I do wonder if they protected one, then they would get redirect. I don't know. I think their best bet was hoping for a speed tie with their final Pokemon. I know what it is because I'm in the future, and it's going to be their Calyrex Shadow Rider. So this makes me a little nervous because I don't know what the Terra is. I just go for Astral Barrage because I'm locked into it, and I'm also nervous about just swapping in my Volcanion. Even if because like I'm still learning with Volcanion, so I don't know what its defenses are. They're gonna get the Terra off. Is it normal? Is it normal? Am I screwed? I am not. It is fighting. So that works wonders for me. And then Astral Barrage will go off first. We win the speed tie, or we're faster. And brings it down to Sash. That's where it went. And then Icy Wind will go off first, and then take down their Calyrex, and that is our first victory of the video. Not our first victory ever. Obviously you know that. But GG's to my opponent. That was a lot of fun. Alright, next up we have Darkrai team with the Zacian. Two Pokemon that I rarely much... In fact, I pretty much like every Pokemon on their team. I know I'm very positive, but... Yeah, so I did notice one thing really early is they don't have a gravity user to increase the accuracy of Dark Void. As someone who loves Darkrai, and as it is famously known for, it got a nerf, so it's only a 50-50 shot. So yeah, I'm going to do kind of like a similar thing where I bring in... I'm going to bring in Tatsugiri for this matchup, and then I do debate whether or not, I decide against it, and I'm like, alright, what if I do this? Bringing in my Smeargle. Basically, I'm bringing everything except Tatsugiri into this. Bring out Smeargle just so I can, get some fake out damage, follow me, wide guard, all that good stuff. And then Dragonite, because it's going to hit hard in the beginning. And they're going to go with Zacian and their Tornadus. So we don't necessarily have any good speed control here. The best thing I can do is fake out into the Zacian, go for extreme speed here. And now I'm thinking, what is my best move? Trying to think who they have in the back, because if I lock into extreme speed and they get in a ghost type, then I have some decisions to make here. But I'm also thinking about Terra. I know it's not going to really be enough, but it helps out. So we're gonna get the fake out off into you, Zacian, little chip, extreme speed. It is not enough. Zacian flinches, and it is going for damage right off the bat. It does so much into my Smeargle. And then Booty, just the special defense. It's all that matters is speed, but at this point, but yeah. So now I'm wondering if they're going to get a play rough off into my Dragonite. So I just kind of like, I'm playing pretty smart. They do swap out, I think, wanting to preserve their Tornadus for later. And then it goes out into their Rillaboom. Get some grassy terrain up with this Grassy Surge. And we're going to follow me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Smeargle. You are here to protect. Your job is protect. Alright, Behemoth Blade is going to take down this doggy. Yes, so definitely a bit of a dogfight here. Alright, so Zacian will go back, that fake out, basically stall for one turn. That chip damage is been restored. So I'm going to go into you because I can't be faked out with Calyrex. Even if it does Grassy Glide, it shouldn't be enough. And then we just get more damage on the board. So I'm debating whether or not to stay in. I also have to see what the advantage is. I also wanted to see what did Dragonite have as an ability. I'm also deciding, do they have Darkrai in the back? Because right now they are ahead. They have 4 Pokemon over my 3. I am going to Terrastalize because I want to go for maximum damage here. It is risky because if Grassy Glide does way too much damage, then that is going to put me behind by so much. Alright, we bring out Volcanion. I'm going to Terrastalize. Question is, do they Terrastalize? Probably not. They don't have anything that would resist, because usually it's either grass or fire or water on the Rilla. And yeah, I don't think I've seen too many Terra Darks on Zacian. So we're gonna get this off. Does it take out Zacian? It does. So both their Pokemon off the board. We're feeling really good about ourselves. Alright, and then that just means I have to worry about Tornadus, and what I suspect to be is Darkrai. So, unless there's some... the sad thing is, unless it's Spore, so many sleeping moves are inaccurate. So it could very well have Hypnosis instead, if you're not doing a team with Gravity. So I'm going through the moves, I'm like, I want to make sure I do get some damage off. I'm also wondering if it's just going to go for Weather. I mean, it would make all the sense of the world to Tailwind right here. And I'm just kind of waiting for that. Also, like, once I know what they've done Terra-wise, I can bring in Dragonite. Because I'm pretty sure if they go with Dark Pulse into there, that's going to do a hefty chunk. So yeah, you see me, I think I'm about to go into Dragonite. I am. Yeah, so it might get some damage on the way in, but it's what we got to do. Because Calyrex Shadow Rider, I just basically need to take care of his Darkrai. They do get the Tailwind off, and are they going to go for the Dark Void? They do, and both of my Pokemon avoid it. Yeah, that is very unfortunate for them. Heat Wave will go in, takes out... Ooh, that's very nice. Takes out their Tornadus, and then all I have to worry about is that Darkrai, but I got the moves. It does have speed advantage, but I'm not too worried. I think I debate whether or not, because they haven't used Terra yet, if I need to go for Extreme Speed or not. So I go into Iron Hand just to be safe. They go for Dark Void again. It misses both times, and we just learn how much gravity is... You need gravity with Darkrai, otherwise this happens, and it's not fun. But we get the W here, and yeah, GG's. Alright, our next opponent, they have Ice Rider, and they only have one restricted with them. So, off the bat, I'm like, hey, that ain't too bad. They also have another Sun team. This one I feel a little bit better about going into. We got a lot of fun tools here. I think I am going to go into Dozo. That just makes more sense because no matter, you know, like whatever the whatever boost it gets, whether it's weakness policy, Armarouge, or Calyrex with all its boosts for not great, Chilling Nay. I'm used to saying both. It's anytime I do it wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna get Dozogiri, and then I'm gonna have CSR in the back, and then I'm bringing CSR and my Volcanion. All right, they're gonna bring in Armarouge and Indeedee. Very classic turn. Oh, I don't bring in CSR. I bring in Dragonite instead. So I am not opposed to having Dragonite here. Alright, it's going to get its boost. Good to know that it's not Rocky Helmet. So, I am debating whether or not to Terra here, mostly because I do know that there is the whole thing with Grass Terra and then Energy Ball. It's not like too common, but you never know on the ladder. I have run it before, and I know it's good. So I decided to protect, kind of like see what damage I can do. I highly doubt they're going to go for a wide guard here. It's going to protect, and then this is a little cheeky, but you know, I do the Rock Slide because if it doesn't, I get super effective. But yeah, basically trying to do damage to both. Indeedee gets, I'd say, about a third of its damage, and we do get a flinch, which you know, means we get an extra turn, one less turn of the terrain as well, which is nice. Now they have some tough decisions to make because I think I just kind of like go, you know, like same play. Armarouge will go out. Who are they bringing in? They're going to go with Amoonguss. Alright, that makes sense. We're going to Rock Slide here. And we're hoping for another flinch. That would be so much fun if we did. We do get Substitute, which is good because then they can't Spore into there. Alright, we're going to get Trick Room off. And yeah, So at this point, it just makes sense to go into Tatsugiri for us. It's going to get some Black Sludge recovery, which is nice. Black Sludge is a good item on there. The only downside is you tear out of your weakness, then it does, yeah. It does more harm than good for you, but yeah. So I think I'm going to keep it simple. Or wait, am I actually going for another Rock Slide? Why? I should have just went for the... I should have Tatsugiri. I'm confused. What was Past Ryan thinking? Maybe you get another cheeky Rock Slide out. Alright, we're gonna protect. Maybe I'm just hoping to get some more mileage out of Dragonite. Spore. Yeah. I don't know why I did that. That might bite me in the butt later. Obviously, I know the result. I'm neither confirming or denying whether or not that is. I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis. So basically, we got spored. Not great. So now we're going to go into Tatsugiri. So nothing gets spored again. Boosts up all of our defenses and everything. And so the downside is Amoonguss has the redirection, which isn't cool. So what is this Amoonguss gonna do? I'm also worried about Amoonguss because it could have Clear Smog. We'll find out. Thankfully, it has Substitute up, so it protects us from some of the Amoonguss shenanigans. We're also stalling out Trick Room as well, which is good. Yep, getting the commander off. It goes for Sludge Bomb into the wrong slot. I ain't keeping it in there. Alright, Glacial Lance will go off. And can we survive? We do. Yeah, so Substitute, once you have all that stuff, is so great because you can get maybe 1 or 2 hits out of it. Alright, and we do so much that Wave Crash brings it to nearly half here. And then, alright, Black Sludge recovery. And then we're also going to see leftovers on this. So I'm also thinking, is this going to be Leech Seed as well? Only time will tell. Get some recovery off of ourselves. Oh, look at all of our Pokemon are getting a little bit healthier. Alright. So I make sure I'm looking at how many turns of Trick Room do I have left. I'm just going to protect, get more leftovers. They might use up another slot, use up more PP on the Glacial Lance. Protect. And what do they go for here? Sludge Bomb. Yep. And then they're going to go for Glacial Lance. So that's 2 down. So, yes. It's not going to be very effective. I'm not going to switch out of anything. Well, I can't switch out of anything. Glacial Lance will not be doing too much damage into it. So this is why I'm thinking it probably has Leech Seed. Because it's like, if that's your only attacking move, and it's resisted, it doesn't make sense. Maybe they want a sure hit as opposed to because even though high horsepower is very, very strong, there is a possibility it can miss. So I'm going to go for Wave Crash. Amoonguss is going to redirect it, but that's okay because I'm a little worried. It does have Swords Dance. So, alright, so Swords Dance, Glacial Lance. So I mean, it's going for more damage, but it has the recovery on it. So we're still learning the moveset on this Calyrex. Get some recoil. Amoonguss is gonna eat a lot of my hits, unfortunately. Alright. So leftovers and everything all around. Good thing is they're low on a lot of stuff, so if we wanted to timer, but another great thing that just happened, we are not in Trick Room anymore. And we're also about to learn, sorry, hiccup, if Ice Rider also has Trick Room. Alright, that brings Amoonguss pretty low. Should be like 2 more hits. Alright, Swords Dance, this thing is getting bulkier and bulkier. And at the time, I'm not going to be so worried about it because this is, once they take out my Dozo, that's a problem with them. But, yes, Dozo is going to be here for a while. So, all the recovery happening, and then, yes. So I'm debating, do I go for another Protect? There's really no need for me to, except getting a little bit of recovery. But, yeah, I think that's what I'm opting for, or do I go for Wave Crash? Because I need to get some more damage off of their side. Sludge Bomb, Spore. I wonder if they have Pollen Puff, but usually if you have that, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they would have probably used it. Maybe they find Redirection a bit more just in case there's a crit. Wave Crash will go into you, bring us a little lower. Alright, and then one more hit should take out Amoonguss. We can get some recoil off. Glacial Lance, that's 3. And yep, my substitute takes the damage and it survives. So this substitute coming in super clutch. Don't have to worry about the spores. Don't have to worry about Glacial Lance for 3 of its attacks. So yes, I will say this Calyrex on their side is regaining a lot of HP back. I'm just going to Wave Crash into the Amoonguss. They don't seem to be protecting or anything. Wave Crash. It's going to go in there. And then I'm wondering if they're going to have a... if they're going to do Trick Room now. Because they're like, what, +4? Critical hit just to rub salt in the wounds. Alright, so damage. And then they do have Trick Room. So, yes. So, the fact that they're using all their Glacial Lances and as Swords Dance and Trick Room, making me thinking they opt out of high horsepower. So it's probably either Leech Seed, which they can't get off right now because of the substitute, or Protect. Alright, Armor Rouge is going to come in, and it's at full health, and right now I'm not too worried. I'm just going to go for the Protect, get some recovery, and then stall out 1 turn of Trick Room. I do wonder if they're going to swap out, because right now that Expanding Force isn't going to really do anything. They're kind of in a tough spot because you've invested so much into your Calyrex. It does have high horsepower. I think they're like, hey, I'm getting low on these Glacial Lances. Yeah. So, Expanding Force, they're going to go without it. So it's not going to be as powerful, which is good for us. So, what does Ryan do here? Because I am boosted, we have the Unaware, so all their stat changes mean nothing to me. And then I'm like, could go for damage. I'm also thinking if I go for Substitute, maybe we get that back up after it's broken, because it is going to break this round. I think I go for, yeah, high horsepower is going to go into the Substitute and it will fade. I'm just more so like, you know, doing the pace of this game. So Expanding Force does a pretty healthy chunk into me. I'm going to Wave Crash. This should be enough to knock it out, and it is. So I debated whether or not to go for the Substitute again, but I was like, eh. Because mostly I'm worried about it, because that Expanding Force could do so much, especially if they decide to get terrain back up. And yeah, Now that I know you have high horsepower too, that's a bit concerning. So Indeedee is going to come out. It is going to offer some redirection, but it is low. Also probably has Helping Hand as well. So I'm going to protect, get some recovery. The question is, do I go for Body Press or Wave Crash into the next turn if I do want to attack? And protect here. And what do we see them do? High horsepower. Yep, protect. So what is Indeedee going to do? Psychic. Alright. We're in a bit of recovery. I don't want to underestimate the power of Indeedee because it does have terrain up right now. But Psychic could do a lot. So I could go for another substitute. I opt into going to Body Press because I cannot go into Wave Crash because that recoil. I'm at the point where every bit counts. It is a critical hit. That is very unfortunate for me. And then Psychic goes into there. Yeah, I think the crit definitely mattered. Because, yeah, that's like twice. My defenses, it happens. But I feel semi-good here. I'm thinking, alright, maybe Heat Wave, but part of me did forget that now that Calyrex has all those boosts, it's basically one-turn knockouts. Oko, any of my Pokemon, basically, with Glacial Lance. Depending on what it goes for. I do go for Surf here, mostly because, like, recovery. In hindsight, Muddy Water might have been better, but I'm thinking long-term and endgame. I also have to worry about the Dragonite in the back. I need to take out this Indeedee. It is super important. And we don't. Not good. And then we get some damage to Calyrex, but it's not enough. So this is actually super bad for a lot of reasons. Because I locked into Surf, I also will do damage into my Dragonite. Thankfully, they did not get off Trick Room, which is good. But another thing in my past is coming back to haunt me because it is asleep. It is a sleep. So yes, early mistake in this game could cost me everything. I have to go for Surf because choice locked, and that's gonna break my multi-scale. And yeah, I go into Terra Normal just cause I might as well. Rather not have times 4 Glacial Lance go into it. Alright. And then Helping Hand makes sense. You're going to want to basically end this if you have the opportunity. I'm going to Surf. It breaks my own multi-scale. Indeedee goes down. Can I get the Wake Up? Because an Iron Head could win me the game. It is fast asleep, and then it is going to cost us the game. Glacial Lance will be enough to take out both, and that is GG's. Long fought, hard battle. Mad respect to my opponent. Regardless, fun game. There are things that I could have done better, like swapping Nagiri sooner, as well as maybe going for a substitute against the Armor Rouge, but, you know, hindsight. But irregardless, GG's. Alright, our final opponent of the video. They have some fun mons. They got Miraidon, they got Colossal. This is another team where they're only bringing the one restricted Pokemon. We have Sneasler, fun for Reg H, and then Superior. Yeah, so at this point too, I'm like thinking I want to showcase Volcanion a little bit more. Like it did a little bit in Battle 2. It didn't really get to shine in Battle 3. So that's part of my thought process going into this, because it's like, if you're the star, I want to showcase you a little bit. I think there's also things we can do, because it is Terra Fairy. I can't tell you how many times I made a mistake today. And I'm gonna leave Dozogiri in the back. I'm gonna bring in because my thing is, I'm also banking on the fact that they're not going to realize what Volcanion does right now. So if I Terra Fairy and it survives, because it is Assault Vest, there's a lot of good things, and then we get in and do that damage with Terra Blast, we're in a really good spot in this game. I am gambling a little bit, but you know, like, we're trying to figure stuff out. Alright, but that means with their lead, then we don't have to worry about it too much. That is a problem for later. So I'm thinking Heat Wave would be good. It would be spread damage, and then it would also it wouldn't be too much on Superior. So I'm gonna fake out here. Thankfully we get it off. Usually it's Light Clay, so I'm not too worried. Leaf Storm will go into you and brings it down to the Sash. Smeargle is okay, but it's down to its final turn after this. We get Heat Wave off. It does so much into Superior, which is good. Alright, Grimmsnarl is leftovers. And then we get the Moody boost. Speed falls, but honestly at this point, Redirection is probably what it's gonna do. So I'm thinking Steam Eruption, maybe to get rid of Grimmy, but I'm also thinking, because Superior, if it keeps on doing the Leaf Storms, that's going to be a problem later on. But yeah, so I do that. I'm gonna go into Heat Wave there, and then Follow Me, just so we can get another turn off. I am nervous. And what are they gonna do? Grimmsnarl is gonna Fake Tears. Great for us. Alright, Leaf Storm will go in there. And we'll get the boost. We just have to land our Heat Wave, and then we'll be in a good spot. And who knows, maybe it's a damage roll onto their Grimmy. Alright, so unfortunately Grimmy is not taken out, but fortunately Superior is. That's a lot of damage off the board. Alright, it's going to get its lefties one more time. I am nervous because it also has Fake Tears as well, which, not great. Not a great move to go up against. So I'm probably going to bring Shadow Riot here, mostly because I'm worried, but I do opt for Dragonite, mostly because, like, alright, I have more options and I can Extreme Speed into the Grimmy, because I am worried about it doing Fake Tears or something again, because we have a lot of energy, a lot of HP left on our Volcanion. So I'm gonna Steam Eruption into there, and then you see me going through. Actually, I go for Earth Power just so I can make sure I hit the move, and then he's deciding, and I do go for, and it does protect, which is not my favorite thing. Extreme Speed will go off, take care of the Grimmsnarl, so no more Fake Tears. No need to cry anymore. And then, obviously, it's going to behoove them to bring their Miraidon in the back. Thankfully, with Extreme Speed and everything, we will be able to outpace everything on the field. We still have our multi-scale up, which is good. So, game's looking pretty promising right here. Alright. And then, this is what we're here for. Wait, am I gonna swap in? Why do I want to do that? What the heck? Maybe because I want to keep, I want to keep it healthy just in case. I don't want, I bring in this so that way I can take down Sneasler more easily. They are going to Terrestrialize. And it is going to be Sneasler into Flying type. Well, that's good for us because, you know, if we went for Earth Power into that again, which I wouldn't do, but you never know. All right, Electro Drift will go into my CSR. This might also get them a false sense of confidence as well, because I swapped out. That might imply that I don't have a good answer on my side. And then do we get anything? We do not. Dire Claw will not affect us with any status conditions. So things are looking a little promising here. I'm going to go for the move now. Terra Blast into you. We're locked into extreme speed, so what target? I feel if we go into you either protect and you block it, but either way, you're locked into Electro Drift and Volcanion is the big target. So I'm going to Terry Farah. I do this all the time. Terra Fairy. And then Extreme Speed will go into Sneasler and knocks it out. And then last but certainly not least, here's what we're worried. This is what my strategy has been banking on. Electro Drift will go in. It does have the electric terrain. And it goes into my Dragonite, which it makes sense because extreme speed, but I was a little surprised. I'm so surprised. Terra Blast will go off. Will it be enough to take it out? And it is not enough, but it will go down in the next hit. I just need to survive Electro Drift. So this is where we see how good Volcanion's defenses are. Electro Drift in terrain. Is it enough to survive? It is. And then we win the game off of that. So, you know, if you're able to take one hit from that Miraidon in electric terrain with Electro Drift, you're a good mon. You're a good mon. Alright, and that will be GG's. Hats off to my opponent for a very, very fun game. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This team was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it, especially if you're someone who loves to do hyper offensive. In this regulation, it's just for fun. So hyper offensive is just one of those like just go for damage, have fun type of teams, which I appreciate. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.